Hello. We're going to do our test, and we'll be with you in a moment. Hello. We got to get the cat out of the way. We're under a cat attack. The cats are attacking.
Oh, I can't help.
Cats are attacking. We're under a feared cat attack.
Oh, it's not. She wants to say hi.
Excellent.
Hi, everyone.
The cats are still attacking. I'm making sure that everything is good.
We good? We're on.
We should be on.
See?
Yes.
Okay. Let me turn mine on.
Okay, we got everything going. We fixed the cat problem.
Hopefully.
Okay, so we are in. We was running a minute or two late, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. It's all good.
All good.
So this is our meeting today. I'm here on Tuesdays and on Wednesdays, and on Tuesdays we do where we talk about a little bit of everything and encounters. But on Wednesday, I'm on the Spirit Realm Network, and we talk to metaphysical. And my name is Lynn David Livesey. I'm your full spectrum Gnostic, and I have who with me today?
Lisa.
Lisa, she's here. Okay,
Lisa.
so we are in the house, and today we have a pretty deep subject. We're talking about something kind of deep. A lot of people are not going to understand, but we're talking energy today. Okay. You know, my job is to scare the hell out of you. This time I'm not going to really scare the hell out of you. I'm just going to this is kind of deep, and I'm going to try to break it down as much as I can to where it's not so crazy, and I'm still working on our little camera angles, and we seem to have everything good. So, what are we talking about?
Except my contacts.
Okay, she's complaining on her contacts. But anyway, life goes on. We're talking today understanding Chi, understanding Pranayama, and understanding Kundalini energy. That is very deep stuff. Now,
never heard
this
of
is
it.
all energy work. And this is the importance of this because I'm going to blow your mind right from the beginning.
Okay.
We are living in a sea of energy. And if you was to go up to a fish and ask a fish, how do you get that oxygen out of the water? What oxygen? I don't see no oxygen. Where's the oxygen? I'm not getting no oxygen because it does it without thinking.
Okay.
If you was to walk up to a plant and say, how do you get the energy out of the air? I don't see no energy in the air. I don't know what you're talking about. What energy? I'm not taking no energy.
Okay.
The plant does it by itself.
Okay. Like when we walk up to a person and feel energy?
No.
Is that what you're talking about too?
No, she's not even close.
Oh,
We are living in a sea of energy. The reason why we have to eat is because we are like dolphins. Even though dolphins live in the water, they cannot get oxygen out of the water. They must come to the surface to breathe because dolphins cannot breathe underwater. Okay, we are living in a sea of energy, but we do not know how to get the energy out of the air that surrounds us. Okay. So we are forced to consume food for energy. And this is why we have to eat, because if we don't eat, we will starve to death and we will run out of energy. Okay. But not all of us are like this. This is why some people, especially these people in India, that's why they talk about some of these yogi masters and whatever. They can live on one bowl of rice. You know, some of them, I don't know if this is true or not, can get to the point where they can live on a single rice kernel. Oh. I don't know if that's true or not, but what they have, I can't do that. But they have run tests on some of these yogis in India where they have locked some of these people in safes for a month. And maybe they did have a candy bar stuck up there, you know what, and this and that and everything else. But to be locked in a safe for a month,
Snickers.
And you open the safe, and they're still in there, and they're still alive. Something is going on.
Okay.
Because they can tap into this endless sea of energy that is surrounding us.
Okay.
Now, we know of 3 ways of tapping into this energy.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want to fight over which is the best way to tap over to this energy. I don't really give an F how you tap into it. Okay. So you can do it through chi, you can do it through Kundalini, or you could do it through or do it through the other way, which is Pranayama. There's also a 4th way, which we're not going to cover today, which is Makaba. We're going to save that for another time. And there's some minor ways of tapping into it also, which we're going to leave for another time. Lynn, you're not going to tell us everything? Hey, I'm sorry, I can't tell you everything.
Didn't tell you all the secrets.
Let's talk about the 3 major ways of tapping into it. Now, Chi is the most popular way of tapping into your energy. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Chi. Okay.
Now, what Chi energy is all about is if you believe in chakra theory, mm-hmm. the root of your emotions is your solar plexus, which is your stomach. This is why when you get very upset, you get a headache. You get a stomach ache. This is why, in practicing Chi, you have your seat of your emotions is in your stomach.
Okay.
So, what you do in Chi, you have to build up your stomach. This is the reason why boxers and things have to have a very firm stomach. Okay. And they have to get mad before the match. They can't before the match. If you watch boxing or wrestling, anything, they can't be laughing and giggling. They have to get really, really upset because they have to build up energy in their stomach, which is where chi is coming from. Okay. Now, we only know in the West how to do it through anger. So this is why at the beginning of all these matches and things, they are really getting pissed off and they're staring at each other and wanting to beat each other up because they really got to get this energy up. But you do not have to build it up through energy. Mm-hmm. But what I'm going to show you a way that weightlifters do it. Okay. What they do, weightlifters, now, I'll show you the secret of how to pick up 300 or 500 pounds. Basically, the human body cannot pick up that much weight. What weightlifters do is tap into chi to lift up very heavy weight. So when you watch those weightlifters, mm-hmm. they grab the weight mm-hmm. and they're doing the very heavy breathing because they're pulling in the energy and they're building the energy in their stomach, and then they're going to yank the weight up to here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then by yanking it there, mm-hmm. they build up energy and they press it up to the next level. Mm-hmm. This is what boxers do by getting all that anger and whatever. The mm-hmm. same thing you do for people that watch cartoons, when you're seeing Dragon Ball Z, they get all upset. You're the guy who killed my brother. You're the one. And then they build up all that energy and then they just throw it. Mm-hmm. This is how we do it. So we don't tap into the universal energy. What we do is by bringing the energy inside of us and by using it in our stomach. This is why we can build up what is called that internal furnace. And through that, you can fight and box and get mad. And that is the root of your anger. Mm. And this is the reason why with boxing and whatever, what they try to do or wrestling, by keep hitting a person in the stomach, mm-hmm. you weaken them because you put the fire out. Mm-hmm. And by keep hitting them in the stomach, you weaken their solar plexus, mm-hmm. that weakens the energy that they have in their hands. Mm-hmm. But this is not truly tapping into the endless energy that is surrounding you. That is taking in energy and putting it inside of you, and then you're expressing it. But normally this has to be done through anger. Now, the Chinese and the Japanese, this is what martial arts is about. They have learned how to do chi without anger. And this is why when you see movies where you got the boxer versus the karate person, the boxer is all pissed off and the karate person is very calm. Because they're going to use the energy in their stomach, but to them, they need to focus that energy and guide it. When you're angry, you get energy, but it's uncontrollable energy. That's the reason when you get mad, you end up saying a lot of bad things and doing a lot of things that you end up having to apologize for. The thing about martial arts, you want to build up that energy in your solar plexus, but you do not want the anger. Because with the anger comes the rage, with the anger comes the mistakes and the problems, and you're doing a lot of stupid stuff. So they try to build up the energy in their solar plexus and try to keep focused without the anger.
Okay.
But they're still not using the real power of the energy around you. They're taking the energy that is around them, and by doing the breathing, they're bringing the energy inside of them.
Okay.
Now, that actually has a name.
Okay.
That is called prana. Or what we call in English the ether. People thought that ether was in the air. And ether was that the energy which is in the air. So when you read a lot of books from the 1800s and things, they talk about capturing ether. We don't really believe in ether anymore. Okay, ether is something that, that's some of that, jargon that they believed in, back with alchemy and everything like that, that you could actually capture the energy in the air. But in the East, they believe that you can capture that energy in the air. And this is why, again, with weightlifters or with chi, you have to do the breathing. Because you have to bring the energy from outside of you to bring it inside of you. And that is what is the breathing method. And the breathing method, most of us in the West, I'm very bad at this, we only breathe off the very top of our chest, the very top of our lungs. Even though your lungs extend to here almost to your stomach, we only use the top 1/3 of our lungs. Most people do not know that. That's the reason a lot of us can have where our lungs are at 30-40% capacity, and we can still walk and talk and do everything because we don't use our full lungs. The reason our lungs are so big is because they are made to have that capability of bringing in that energy or that prana or that ether and putting it inside of you. And this is, we're going to leave chi a little bit. We're going to come back, but this is the secret of getting that energy inside of you, is what they call in the East learning how to breathe. You've only been doing it your entire life, but you haven't been doing it right.
Haven't been doing it properly.
Because we only breathe off of the very top of our lungs. We do not breathe off of our entire lung. So they will teach you that to do yoga or to do anything, you have to first learn how to breathe. And you got to breathe from the very top all the way down to the very bottom. You have to take these very, very long breaths where you breathe out all the way, and it would be the same as you're saying like a sawing motion or like a swinging motion, where you when you breathe in, you breathe all the way out, and then you breathe in all the way, and then you breathe out all the way. And you breathe from the very bottom of your lungs all the way to the very top of your lungs. And if you do that, let me demonstrate. You're going to go, here we go. And if you do this 1 or 2 times very deeply, you'll start coughing. Because a lot of our lungs are messed up. We got all kind of mucus and everything in there. And you got to learn how to breathe. And by breathing very, very deep like that, first you start coughing. But then if you keep doing that for a few minutes, you will start getting a little dizzy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The reason why you get dizzy, why do you get dizzy?
Because you take too much air in? I don't know.
Because you're not used to all that energy you're taking in. See, we live in a sea of energy, and we only take in, we say, hey, we don't want all that energy. Just give me the little, I don't want that big glass of orange juice. Just give me that little tiny shot glass. Okay. And we get used to life just living on that little shot glass of energy.
And that's why, like, too, like when you get anxiety or something, that's what they tell you to do. Take a deep breath, right? And then breathe
you
out.
have to breathe. Right. Because our lungs are designed, God gave us these giant lungs so we could have a big, giant glass of orange juice. But we don't want that big glass of orange juice. We just want that little shot of orange juice. We say, no, don't give me that big glass. Just give me that little glass. So when you start doing those big giant breaths, it makes you kind of dizzy because you're getting all that extra energy inside your body, and you're rejuvenating, you're oxygenating your body, and it makes you feel kind of dizzy.
Okay.
But that's how you're supposed to feel every day, because that's the reason when you run. That's the reason running and jogging and exercises, when you start exercising, you start breathing. That's the reason exercise is good. Mm-hmm. That's the reason they say the best kind of exercise is light exercise. The one that gets you, heavy exercise, the problem is you can damage your joints and things, especially when you get older. Because we're not, a lot of our used cars is not as good as shape you used to be. So light exercises and doing stretching and things like that, where you work up a small sweat. And when you start sweating a little bit, it makes you start breathing. Mm-hmm. And by breathing completely from the top to the bottom of your lungs, you get to breathe in all that extra energy. And you get to go from something called prana to something called the pranayama.
Someone says hyperventilating.
Okay. But the pranayama is the air, and the prana is the air, and the pranayama is the energy which is in the air. That is the equivalent of, in this country, we believe that there was oxygen, air, and there was ether in the air, which was the energy which was in the air, was called the ether. You understand? Okay. But they're calling it the pranayama. So you got to get that pranayama, or that heavy breathing, inside of you. And once you can oxygenate your body, that is how you can start tapping into things. And this is the secret of chi. With chi, by doing that breathing, and by putting that, now with chi, you're not letting the energy, you're only putting the energy into your stomach. So they're doing the breathing exercises to build up energy in their solar plexus so they can use it in their muscles and in their fists. That's the purpose of chi. And if you there's only a few people that can do qigong. Qigong is where you can get so much energy that you can actually convert the energy from spiritual or esoteric energy into physical energy. And there's some qigong masters. You can see this on these YouTube. Some of these Chinese qigong masters. They can take some like some leaves or some twigs or whatever. They can put their hand over it and start doing the breathing and everything, and it will start smoking. You get what I'm saying? Or they can put a wet paper towel on your back and they start doing the breathing and everything, and that wet paper towel will start warming up. Okay, and you feel on your back like, gosh, this guy is really burning my back up. But he's using his energy to do that. But most people can't go from chi to qigong. We are tied. Most people only know the technique of putting the energy inside your solar, inside of you. But we lack the potential to convert it. Okay. And
some people say it makes you lighter. It makes you lighter. I think the breathing. Do you agree with that?
You mean lighter, like make you dizzy? Lighter?
Or lighter in your body?
Well, if you get on a scale and doing the I don't know if that's going to get you lighter on the scale or not. But what it does is it oxygenates your body. And most of us are suffering from...
Right? When they do yoga and all that.
Yeah, because with yoga,
right?
you got to get that pranayama energy. Because the difference between chi and pranayama, with chi, you're just getting the energy in your stomach so you can use it. You get what I'm saying, don't you?
She says, no, not weight. She meant like light.
Right. With pranayama, with yoga, you're putting that energy throughout your body, and you're actually extruding the energy into what is called your auric field. And this is what these yoga positions is about. By doing certain positions, you can direct the energy in certain areas of your body. You can do the healing positions, they got all these yoga positions that supposedly by doing certain positions, you can do certain types of healing. You could do certain type of aligning of your chakras. You can do so many things in these yoga positions. Okay.
Okay.
But the secret is you got to get the pranayama inside your body, which is the energy. And the way to do that first is, that's the reason before you can do any yoga, you got to do the breathing first. If you don't do the breathing and do your yoga positions, for one, you're going to hurt yourself because you did not energize your body enough to be twisting it into a pretzel, right? Okay. But also, you're not going to be able to enter. The reason you're twisting and doing these yoga positions, because each position is for a different thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
And that's the reason people have these different positions, which one is for relaxation, one is for this, or one is for your heart, and one is for your circulation, one is for this. And there's books that cover all of this stuff. But you have to power yourself up first, right?
Okay.
And a side thing of yoga is what they was doing with Feng Shui. Okay. That got a lot of people mad because they was energizing, and this is why the Chinese government got mad, is because you're not energizing your body so you can heal yourself or to align your chakras or to balance your auric field. They was actually doing this for spiritual enlightenment. And that's kind of like a penalty flag on the play, because you get what I'm saying.
Okay.
You're not supposed to be no antenna trying to contact no spirit creatures or the God upstairs or whatever. You know, you need to stay down here on terra firma. You know what I'm saying, don't you? Okay, and once you're trying to, amplify your body so you can reach higher levels of consciousness and whatever, we got to put that penalty flag out there. You can't be doing that stuff. You just can't be doing that. So that's the reason, they got mad at these people that was doing that. Okay. But you still got these Feng Shui people out there. And there's a lot of these ways of doing this. But the main thing you have to do with all these techniques, with Chi or with Pranayama, the secret is, what's the secret? Learning how to breathe.
Okay. Learning how.
Right?
Learning how to do it.
God gave us these giant lungs.
Okay.
We only use the very top of our lungs.
Okay.
God gave us giant lungs because we are supposed to be energy beings. And by keeping ourselves energized, right? And this is one of the reasons that cancer and things. See, with bodies that have low oxygen levels, you become more acidic. And with more acidic, that increases your chances of cancer and other diseases. Did you know that? And bodies that are very high, that have the high oxygen levels, they're more less prone to diseases, less prone to, their bodies is a lot more alkaline. Okay.
And the less we smoke and put junk in our lungs and all that.
And learn how to use our lungs properly. But this is the reason why in the East, if you go to yoga classes or any of this, is the secret of learning how to breathe.
Okay.
Remember, you've only been breathing your entire life. You just haven't been doing it right. Okay. You get what I'm saying, don't you? Okay. And by doing that, also, what people have learned by doing yoga and all this other stuff and breathing, you don't see people doing yoga that weigh 300-400 pounds, because by doing all this breathing and everything, for some reason you require less food because you're taking in energy from the air. The reason we have to eat is because we are lacking of energy. We must get all of our energy through our mouth, not through our noses. You get what I'm saying? So we have to keep stuffing things in our mouth to get energy. By doing breathing exercises and by learning how to do these breathings and stretching and everything, you notice that you're not as hungry. And you can eat that. This is why I told you these yogis in India, they can live on a single bowl of rice for the entire day. You get what I'm saying? Because they're getting their energy from the air. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that totally amazing?
I wish I could get the energy from the air, not eat and be really skinny.
Okay,
that would
but
be
you
great.
can, and not everybody's meant to be super skinny. The secret is to balance yourself mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And by learning how to breathe and by balancing that's the reason, again, with these yoga positions, again, with learning to line your chakras and doing all of this, you're able to balance yourself. The ease belief, as we talked about before, that being out of balance mentally, spiritually, and emotionally is the cause of all problems in life. Is caused by being out of balance.
Is that my problem?
Okay, so by balancing yourself, that's the reason why so many of these people starts their day in the morning. The first thing they do when they get up in the morning is not run to that coffee pot. They get up in the morning and they have to do their breathing and they have to do their stretching, because that is what they do in the morning is they're aligning themselves, they're energizing their body. See, we don't do that. We run to that coffee pot.
What does Lisa do?
Okay. We got to run to that coffee pot because we got to pour coffee in our mouth to try to energize our body. Okay.
I gotta pour coffee in my mouth so I can be nice.
Okay, but you see what I'm saying, don't you? These people, they wake up in the morning. First thing they have to do, they got to do their stretches. They got to do their breathing, and that aligns them. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay. Isn't that amazing? See, I didn't say you got to go and spend $89.95. I didn't say you got to go and have this bicycle and you got to say Peloton and all this stuff. See, everything we do over here has a price tag. Why is that? God gave us everything for free. That's why they don't want nobody to know about this stuff. They want you to spend money. And think about it. Okay. If you got up in the morning and you did your stretches, and with me, I got my little aches and pains in the morning, and that's the thing. In the morning, I do my stretches, and I do my this and that, and I do my, and you feel better. Because a lot of time in the morning, you feel tight and you feel, especially when you get older. When you're a kid, you jump out of bed and you feel like you feel great. But when you get older, you wake up and you feel like the Tin Man.
Let me try to move.
Right, and
Let me try to move.
And that's the reason I get up in the morning and I do my stretches on my bed. I got to stretch my legs and stretch this, and I'm cracking my knuckles and I'm doing my little, I got to get.
He has a routine.
I'm fighting that rigor mortis is what I call it, that rigor mortis.
For everything.
I'm trying to fight that rigor mortis in the morning.
He has a routine.
Okay. Because I feel very stiff. And after I do my stretches and everything, but maybe I need to add the breathing to my stretches. See, I learned something new. So I can do my stretches, but I need to do the breathing also. Amazing. See, I'm listening to my own show for once. This is amazing. This is amazing. So, this is the difference between Chi and Pranayama. Chi is just the thing of getting the energy through anger, or that we do in the West, or without anger as they do with martial arts. But again, they're only using it for their upper strength or for fighting or for doing whatever. Okay. The Indian way is pranayama, where they're trying to energize their entire body. They're not doing it to beat up anybody or for protection or whatever. But the main thing about martial arts, what most people don't know about, the purpose of martial arts is not fighting. The purpose of martial arts started as a way of exercises and a way of being able to balance your body and to be able to energize your body. That's the reason why with the martial arts, you learn how to do all the steps very slowly. Mm-hmm. It's about the thing of being able to balance your body. Mm-hmm. And these, martial art masters thousands of years ago, if you want to believe this, could get to the point where they could balance themselves on a straw, or they could balance themselves on a single stone, or they could get to the point where they could, walk across a lake. Or that's when you see in these movies where they're fighting, where they run across lakes and everything. That's how great supposedly they was. Now, can these people really run across lakes and up in there and run up and down trees? We really don't know. But this is what some of the legends talk about. Okay. They could be so light and so energetic that they had that much energy. Okay. Today,
that's what I'm.
They probably wasn't eating processed food like we're eating. You get what I'm saying? Their food probably had a lot less chemicals in there than ours had. It probably didn't have any. Our food got everything in it today. Yeah. It's very, very bad. It's very, very sad. So you probably won't be able to be running across streams and things like that anytime soon. But we just got to do the best we can. Okay, so we talked about two ways already. We talked about Chi. We talked about Pranayama. Now we're going to India. Okay. And we're talking about Kundalini energy. What is that Kundalini energy all about? Oh my gosh.
I've heard these words.
Okay. Kundalini energy is about we're living in this sea of energy.
Okay.
But God gave us a secret gift. God gave us a straw to where we can suck the energy out of and suck the energy into our body. He gave us a straw.
Okay.
And sipping the energy from it's just like you have a cup and you put a straw in there and you can just sip all day, and it's so much easier. But most of us don't even know we have a straw. It's called our spinal cord. See, our spinal cord, they will tell you, is your electrical circuitry for your entire body. But your electrical circuit, your spinal cord runs from the tip of your brain, which is your brain and spinal cord form a ball at the top, and it goes to your tail. Now, they call it, in pranayama, that is called the snake.
Okay.
Most people's snakes is like this. This is where they need to get those spinal alignments and whatever.
And have back surgery and all kinds
This is why we have problems.
stuff.
Because if your nervous system run up and down your spine, by your spine not being straight, how is your electrical circuitry, how is your chakras going to be able to move energy up and down your chakras, even if you can fill your body full of energy? If all of your wires and things are not straight, you're still gonna have problems. You gotta straighten that thing up. And this is what they call Kundalini activation. You have to get that flow going up and down your spinal cord. Okay. And by pulling energy, and I'm going to tell you a little secret about...
And this is why people go to the doctor to
Okay, that's a spinal alignment, because chiropractic is the thing about what is causing problems is that all of your nervous systems use the spinal cord to connect your body electrically. And if you have, problems with your nervous systems in your back where you got pinched nerves or this or that or whatever, it causes pains, it causes this, you get misfirings and whatever. Sometimes the signals doesn't go where they're supposed to go. So we use something called spinal alignment. Back in the old days of the New Age, they was doing things called rafting. They don't do that much anymore, but they would actually try to stretch out your spinal cord and make it straight. That is kind of, I wouldn't advise that, because a lot of people after 40, 50 years of being like this, if somebody tried to yank you and pull you straight.
And when I go to reflexology, that's what they do too. They pull your...
Yes. And that's what they try to do. Yeah. And you see this on these videos where you go to these where they do these spinal adjustments in China and whatever, and they be popping your back. Yeah. And they take you and they pop you this way because they're trying to straighten out your spine. Okay. And by straightening out your spine, all of your electrical circuitry can move up and down perfectly. So then when you energize your body, that energy can actually be used by your body because your electrical circuits is actually working. Duh. Okay. So they're combining that with the straw, because what Kundalini activation is not only do you do the breathing, but instead of doing the breathing through your mouth and through your nose, and they do not believe, I skipped something. In Pranayama, you do not breathe through your mouth. You must breathe through your nose. You can't be, we're not dogs. Okay, you get what I'm talking about? You have to do it that way because it has to run through your navel cavity going this direction, not from here going this direction. Okay. You have to do it that way. In Kundalini energy, not only do you have to strain your spine and do your breathing, but then when you get into Kundalini activation, you get into the secret. There's other ways of pulling energy into your body without using your nose, because your spinal cord is like a straw and you can pull energy up your spinal cord. Did you know? And your spinal cord can tap and pull energy up through your, you're pulling energy from the tip of your spinal cord, and you're pulling energy up your spine. And as you breathe in and out, you don't breathe from the front, you breathe from the back. This is hard to explain in a video, but we normally breathe in the front. When we breathe this way. That's when people have these large chests. In India, they breathe in the back of their lungs, not in the front of their lungs. Does this make any sense? That's the reason in India you don't see people with these large biceps and large chests. Okay. Because same in China. They're breathing out of the back of their lungs, not out of the front of their lungs. You didn't know breathing was that complicated, did you? You just thought you just breathed every day. You've been totally doing it wrong all these years. Terrible.
So someone says, so if you have bad problems, does spinal alignments help if you have herniated discs?
Okay, what you're trying
You have to get those fixed, right? Like,
okay. For one, what if just saying with electrical lines. If your electrical lines have shorts and breakage in the lines, it's hard to pull energy up and down the line, right? Now, here we don't do the radical stuff. In India, they actually use hammers and they actually beat on your spine to straighten it. And if you got disc that's out of alignment, they actually use hammers and things where they will align it. Now, we're not doing that here because, those insurance companies, you get what I'm saying, don't you? Okay. Okay. Over there, they got people walking. See, so in China, they got these back people that will hold you and twist you and actually pop your spine back into a position which they call spinal manipulation. They're not doing that over here too because those lawyers are out there. So we do little tiny stuff. We can't do the big stuff. Okay, here. But overseas, they do all kind of stuff because you got to get the energy to flow. And if you have a blockage of your energy, I don't care how much energy you can pull in by breathing. If you got a blockage in your spine, it's not going to flow up and down your entire chakras, right? Because you're going to have a blockage in your third chakra and your fifth chakra or wherever that blockage is. So their thing is they have to eliminate that blockage, right? That's why they get into spinal manipulation by popping your spine. Or in India, they actually use hammers and they actually straighten up your spine mechanically. Okay. And their thing is, if you got something that is kink, they're going to, they have to get that energy flow. This is the reason it's that important to them. They got to get the energy flow to flow because without that energy flow, you're not going to be able to use the energy that you're breathing in. Right? Okay. So, again, pranayama is breathing not out you're taking those long breaths, but not from the front of your lungs. You're breathing from the back of your lungs. And then you're doing that pranayama activation where you're using your spine as that straw and you're bringing up energy from the tip of your spine all the way up. And you're actually bringing it up here and flipping it over. And then you get into the big stuff where you get into multi-straws. And these people can, and that's how you get into this energy to where you can get into levitation and all this stuff where with Kundalini activation and these Kundalini masters, they don't have a single straw. They get into multi-straws to where they're like an airplane, where they're pulling up lines of energy. And at first, you just let the energy flow over you. And then they get to the point where they can direct the energy. This is the reason with them, they can do this motion. And, and this is, again, what these Qigong people are doing. They get that energy and they can do this and the person falls down. You get what I'm saying? And this is why in the East, they can get into something called... where they can move things with their hands. What they call telekinesis.
Okay.
Right. In the West, we have a hard time doing that because we're actually trying to do it using our mental energy. What they're doing in the East, the reason that guy can warm up the paper, he's using the chi, the pranayama, the Kundalini energy. Then he's taking that energy and he's using it to move that object or to make that paper hot or whatever. They're cheating. Okay. They're not using mental energy. They're taking the energy, putting it inside of them, and then refocusing it. The problem is converting the energy from spiritual energy into physical energy beyond yourself. And that becomes very, very hard. And if you can do that, you can go from Qi to Qigong, or you can go to where, and this is what levitation is. If you see these levitation people, the real ones, the ones in Africa or in China that can levitate a few feet off the ground, they do the heavy breathing first. They do the meditation, the heavy breathing, and then they can actually lighten themselves.
Okay.
Just like anti-gravity. This is what real levitation is. Levitation, or the ability to fly, is where you lighten yourself by, as somebody said, by doing this stuff, you feel lighter.
Yeah.
You can actually lighten yourself to where you create yourself, where you become zero weight. And that's why these people can levitate a few inches off the ground.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And what some people can do, Chris Angels and these other people, that they're doing magic and levitation, mixing it together, they can actually levitate and move. That becomes very, very difficult. And I'm going to tell you a secret. Okay. That's what Jesus was doing. Jesus could levitate and he could move. That's why it appeared as if he was walking on water. He did not walk on water. He was levitating above the water, but he can move. According to metaphysical books, humans have the ability to to levitate. Okay. That is the one of the hardest of all the there are 25 psychic abilities. That is the hardest of the abilities. Is the ability to levitate. So man do not have the ability to fly. Man have the ability to levitate, and some people can move and levitate. And that's the reason when people fly, they don't fly like Superman or a bird. People that can levitate and fly, they are standing and they are able to move. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Because they're levitating and they're actually able to use their power to move them. Okay. Wow. Get it? But they levitate and move standing up, not like this.
Crazy. Yeah.
So people that can fly like the one that was mentioned in the Bible, Simon Magus, he could fly. But he flew straight up. He could get off the ground and he could move. Okay. Can Lynn Livesey do that? No. Okay. That is the hardest. And that, just to get a few inches off the ground, these people that can do levitation, they're doing it by using multi-straws of Kundalini energy. Multi-straws. And they actually can lift themselves. But just doing it, they are totally exhausted after a few minutes. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because they're pulling that much energy. Okay. But this is the secret. This is what they talk about, man going into the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension and all this crazy stuff. That in the future, we will be able to tap into more of these abilities. And as our physical body, and see, our mind, we're only using 10% of our mind energy. By us being able to tap more into these abilities, things that are now impossible will become more possible.
Okay. Somebody says that's how I get around in my dreams sometimes.
Okay, by standing up and you can move. Yes. But this is how it's done. It's not like this. People cannot fly this way. Man cannot fly. Okay. But we can levitate. Levitate and move. So people, that's the reason in Mexico you have the flying witches. Okay. They are people that they see, these people, and they're like this. And they can move. Okay. And they've been photographed several times. What they call these flying witches of Mexico. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Okay. And this also goes into with these big bird sightings that they had in Texas back in the 70s and 80s, where people believed these was what they call flying humanoids. Because these flying humanoids, if you haven't heard of flying humanoids, maybe we need to do a discussion on flying humanoids. Okay. But these flying humanoids that have been reported all over the world is people that are standing straight up. but they are going through the air standing straight up. And people see them moving. They are not this way, they're that way. They're levitating and moving. I just told you the big secret. Okay.
Levitating and moving.
Levitating and moving. That's the secret of walking on water. You levitate above the water and you move above the water. You get what I'm saying? Okay. That's the secret that Chris Angel can do. He's a levitator. He can levitate, but he's mixing magic because there's no money in being a guru in America. So he's mixing magic and metaphysical and making a lot of money. And as long as you make the money in America, that's what's important. But he can levitate. He has the gift of levitation. Okay, and this is why he can walk up and down buildings and things like that. Again, he's not flying. He's just levitating, and he's able to levitate and move. Okay.
Interesting.
Again. Okay, so you can look some of this up on YouTube, and they got some of these shamans in Africa that can levitate. Levitation is something that's been known and documented for thousands of years. Levitation. Okay, but levitation must be done through the process of Kundalini and multi-straws. Okay, not a single straw up and down your spine, but when you get into the multi-straws and you're pulling in all the straws. Okay, and you're using that energy to push yourself up. I make it seem so simple. Now, we're going to she's going to be practicing that later on tonight to see how many inches she can get off the ground. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So this is deep stuff. This is stuff that people don't normally talk about. But this is why they don't want you to know about this stuff, because they want you to believe you're limited, you're stupid, you're ignorant. If you need some, you need to take this vitamin, you need to take this pill, you need to take this shot, you need to do this, you need to see this doctor. See, they don't want us to know you can learn how to do things. They don't want you to know that you have something called abilities. The only thing they want you to know is how to pay taxes and how to pay your bills on time. Right? That's the only thing they want you to know. That's the difference between here and over there. Okay. See, that's the difference. Let's talk about something that's going to make people really upset. Okay. That's the difference between America and Russia. See, in America, anybody can fly jets because we're going to put a $50,000 G suit on them. In Russia, they can't afford those $50,000 G suits. Okay, so what they do, they take everybody and put you in a centrifuge. And people that can take very high G forces is the ones they give a G suit to. And they're only going to give them a super cheap G suit because those people can naturally take 4 or 5 Gs without a suit. So just by giving them a cheap suit, they can take 7, 8, 9 Gs. In America, you got to give that guy that super expensive suit because without the suit, he can't even take 2 Gs. See, this is how people are able to cheat. In a lot of countries, they look for people that have what is called natural abilities. In America, we only look for natural ability this way. You get what I'm saying, don't you? If you're a pianist or a pianist, or this is your natural ability. Okay. If you don't have this, you don't have a natural ability.
I wish that was my natural ability.
See? But in Africa, they can't afford people. You know, how they get people for the Olympics in Africa? They let the kids run. And that real fast kid, they pull him out. And they let those other kids run, and they pull them out. And then they take all the fast kids, and they run them, and they pull the fastest one out. And that is the kid that's going to the Olympics. In America, the kid that's going to the Olympics is the one. You understand what I'm talking about, right? Okay, we have that special ability this way. Okay. Isn't that amazing?
So this was a great show.
Okay, so this is the secret. But in America, if you don't have this, they tell you you don't have no ability. Yeah, you can swim good, but no, you're not that. You don't have no ability. Yeah, you can ski good, but you don't have no ability. You can't be in the Olympics because you don't have this. Okay. In a lot of the world, they go by who can do the work.
Okay.
And that is the thing, what the Olympics is about now. We take people that's from all over the world that have, some people are running, the marathons in $50 shoes and, and with $20, shorts on. And some of these Americans are running, the marathon in $10,000 shoes. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Because that $10,000 pair of shoes is supposed to make up for you're not having your abilities, right?
Okay.
That's the reason everything here is this way. But everybody has abilities. And what they have told me upstairs in closing is that the X-Men not only exist in comic books, they actually exist here. And if you look on YouTube, they have went around the world. They have found people whose skin is like rubber, who people can stick metal to their bodies, there's a guy who can climb mountains, and he have been in, they'll put him in bathtubs of ice and he doesn't get cold. One guy, the record for diving is 900 feet without oxygen. How can people hold their breath 15 minutes underwater? There's people that have natural ability to do everything. Mm-hmm. But we suppress that. We have to get into and get away from this. Mm-hmm. Okay. And quit believing that you can't do nothing. Everything you have the ability to do. You just have to believe in yourself. And no, we all can't be Superman. And no, we all can't be that super jock. But that doesn't mean that you just can't. You just have to sit there and be a couch potato and do nothing. The secret is finding your ability and doing your best. With that, I'm out of time. I look forward to seeing you next week. This show was kind of deep. Maybe you need to play it back 2-3 times.
It was
and
real deep.
We'll do it again next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Let's wish everybody
a happy Valentine's Day, right? Is it right?
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm out of here. I'm out of time.
Okay.
Thank you, Lynn and Lisa. Bye.
Bye-bye.